is another thing that I'll be honest, I have struggled with. Tone matters. You know, attitude and tone. How you say things. I know we done heard it 1,000,001 times. It's not always what you say, it's how you say it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that, but it's the truth. Hey. I'm just playing, y'all. What's up? It's TSS and I'm back with another video. I wanted to get into a topic because I was reading, I was watching Pastor Todd, based out of where I'm from, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he has a whole relationship goals series that I heard about back in 2016, but it was recently brought to my attention again, so I decided to take a look. So in this particular video, which is part 4, I actually decided to go ahead and take some notes, and I wanted to kind of talk about it with you guys. So when y'all see me looking to the side, it's my laptop. This is what I'm looking at, right? All right, cool. Like I said, the series is about relationship goals, right? So in part 4, it was a question that really stuck out to me, and which even made me decide I wanted to start taking notes, because I was thinking about throughout the whole series, like, oh, I want to take notes, I want to take notes, but I wasn't. So it was a question that stuck out to me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna write about this. So the question was, what do I need? Now, they are not talking about in general, like, oh, food, water, shelter. They're saying, what do you need in like dating life, right? The female pastor and the male pastor, they are both married. The female pastor gives a biblical standpoint, not even really biblical, but like it's a religion. Obviously, it's Christianity. And I do want to put a disclaimer out that this is not a religion channel. This is not a religious video. I'm just giving my opinion based on what I saw, you guys. I'm objective enough to receive a message, and I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't mind that it's coming from a Christian or a Buddhist or whoever. I just know if the message resonates with me. The 3 things that the female said was, a woman needs affection, security, and communication. So already off top, I'm like, okay, I can definitely kind of agree with that. You know what I mean? Especially, I would say, out of those 3, the thing that stuck most to me was the security. I'm the type of person where I have to feel secure. I have to feel that I'm in a safe space with you. I have to trust that, you know, you have my best interest when it comes to my emotional, when it comes to my mental, when it comes to my spiritual. Like, I have to feel safe with you. I have to feel secure. When I don't feel safe, and that could be because you violated me in some way, and I don't want to think violated like, oh, you know, sexual. No, not all violations are physical. But it's like, if you violate that trust, essentially, it's like, you know, I don't really feel secure with you anymore. So, and security is really big for me, and it trickles into other areas of my life. So, partnership life, relationship life. So it's like, if I don't feel secure, I don't really trust what you're saying. You know what I mean? I'm not really believing what you're saying. You want to go on dates. I'm really not in the mood because I really don't really care like that. You get what I mean? Like, it just trickles into other areas, right? Then the guy gave the 3 things that a man needs: honor and respect, support, and sex. Now, obviously, when you hear honor and respect, it's like, okay, here we go. And he did touch on it in saying that, like, men need to be praised. They need to be told they're doing good. They need to be this, they need to be that. And you have to give them room to make mistakes, and they have to feel comfortable in knowing that if I make a mistake, my wife is not going to, you know, give up on me or things of that nature. Now, I do want to say this, y'all. 2 things I want to say. Shout out to Kendra. 2 things, okay? Number 1, I'm a firm believer in yin and yang. So femininity and masculinity, right? So I believe that, even though that's why I said this is not a religion video, because at the end of the day, lesbianism, I don't want to say ism like that, like it's a, you know, a phobia or something, but being a lesbian and being a gay man is of this world. Being a bisexual woman is a thing. You get what I mean? So I say all that to say, I believe that each of us possess femininity and masculinity. Some of us have more masculine in us, whether male or female. Some of us have more femininity in us, whether male or female. So even though they are saying man, as in men, actual heterosexual men, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say people. Okay, I think if you are a person who carries more masculine energy, these are some of the things that you may need. If you're a person who carries more feminine energy, these may be some of the things that you need. The first three things I said earlier. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. When they were talking about letting them, you know, praise and worship. Now y'all know, if you have watched previous videos of mine, you already know that I'm against that. Like, I feel that it has really been people, more so the masculine being or men, they want to be praised and worshiped and told the good things and this, that, and the third for the wrong reasons. That has been my perspective, right? Like, oh, you want me to stroke your ego. I'm not doing that. You want me to pat you on the back and tell you how great of a job you did. I'm not going to do that, because quite frankly, I probably don't even think you did a good job. Or, you know, it just seems like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it just kind of seems kind of kiddie to me, right? Like, why do you have to be told, oh, you did a good job? You know you did a good job, right? Or you think you did a good job, so why isn't that good enough? I'm completely guilty of this. You know, I have kind of had this attitude throughout. I only say stuff when it's genuine. You get what I mean? Like, okay, I genuinely feel like you did a good job, so I want to say something. I genuinely think you look good, so I want to tell you. Other than that, it's like I'm not really saying anything. But this sermon really kind of switched my perspective, and this was something that I learned, what I'm about to say, last year, where I was talking with my roommate and we were just talking about shifting your perspective. Sometimes, did I say last year? Oh, I guess it is last year. Oh well. Sometimes you just have to get a different perspective, or you have to shift the perspective that you have to see it in a different angle, and then it will bring clarity. So I feel like that's exactly what happened with the situation. I was able to gain clarity and understanding and see, like, okay, when it all boils down to it, you have to trust the person you are with. You have to trust the person you are married to, right? So if they're telling you, hey, I like words of affirmation, or I like encouragement, verbal encouragement, or I like to be, you know, told good job. It's not that, you have to trust that they are not saying that out of wanting you to stroke their ego, but they're saying that because that is one way that fuels them. And I think it is a difference. It's a very thin line between ego and just motivation, but it's like, I feel like you have to just kind of trust that person, you know, and really hope. Like, I'm very upfront with people. Like, you know, ego is not something I like. I don't do the ego thing. And that was another thing that was touched on in the video. When you become one with someone, the more you guys grow, first of all, you kind of already have to have this mentality, but let's be honest, not all people have that mentality. But as you become one, you have to shed self. You have to shed self. So that means that ego is part of self. You have to stop looking at, oh my gosh, you know, this or that, or I feel this or I feel that, or your selfishness. You kind of have to let that go and do what's better for the greater of you too. So I say all that to say, hoping that people are shedding their ego. So therefore, when they're asking for praise and worship from you, it's not that they are saying it and operating out of ego. It is saying that this is what fuels me to continue to want to do better. I already want to do better on my own, but your words and encouragement help me further. So now I feel like I got a different perspective of it, and I'm cool with it. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna be doing that all the time, because I feel like it gets watered down when everything they little, you know, they do. They wash one dish and you like, oh my God, like, stop. You know what I mean? But it's all about knowing the time and, oh, not even time and place, but knowing when to and not. You know what I mean? Like when it's necessary and when it's not. Okay? So I'm totally reformed and renewed. So shout out to Pastor Todd and Pastor Natalie. Support. This was one that also stuck out to me as well, because it kind of ties into the first one, where people, whether male or female, they just want support. They want to know that you have their back, specifically more so when we're talking about marriage and stuff like that. They want to know that you have their back. They want to know that they that you fully support them and that you trust them to support you. And one thing that they said that really stuck out to me too is you have to honor who you want them to be. So even if, but this kind of taps into potential, right? Because some people, I feel like we've gotten so like about potential, where it's like, oh, if you got I can't look at potential, I got to look at who you are, because if I look at potential, I may fall into a trap, which is kind of accurate. I would agree with that. However, I feel like sometimes looking at potential and really speaking into a person can really be the thing that they need to help them become who they're gonna be. And that's kind of what I got from them. Honor the person you want them to be. So the pastor female, she used the example of, like, when her husband was washing dishes, she was like, dang babe, you did a good job of cleaning, them dishes was good, the kitchen was spotless, the floor was mopped, everything was good. He's not normally, I guess, as clean of a person as she would like to be, but when he did do it, she celebrated it. So therefore she gave him positive reinforcement, so therefore he wants to keep doing it because he wants to keep hearing it, and then eventually he will become a clean person. Does that make sense? But it all started from potential. So it's like, I don't know, I guess it's just like I don't know, this marriage thing is just a little bit different, okay? It's a lot of bit different. Another thing they touched on is power of your words. Now I feel like we all know, like, our words have power. It's life and death in the tongue. But I feel that that is something that I want to really take control of. Like, I'm not a big like basher, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're blah 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 blah. I'm not like that. I don't got time, you know what I mean? But I still feel like, even though I don't do that, there's other ways that I may not speak highly of my partner, or I don't speak at all. And that's a problem, because sometimes you need to defend your partner, and every time you shouldn't be telling people about your partner. Y'all business is y'all's business. You get what I mean? It should be just between you guys. But I think the power of the tongue, it's good and bad. So no, you should not be saying negative things, but you also need to pick up on saying good things. They also said you have to build your partner up according to their needs. Now, I think that is very, very crucial, and I'm gonna tell you why. I feel like in my past relationships, I have done things that I feel like would kind of get them to treat me a certain way, but that was all wrong. That was wrong, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, I should not have to teach you how to treat me, okay? I should treat myself well. Therefore, you will see how I treat myself, and therefore you will treat me accordingly. And if you do not treat me accordingly, then I will then remove myself, okay? So let how you carry yourself, how you treat yourself, how you respect yourself, let that be the mold or the example that they follow. I shouldn't have to verbally tell you, okay, do this, do that, make sure you say this, make sure you say that. You will see how I treat myself, and if you want to be in addition to that, you have to build up your partner according to their needs. I feel like that was very powerful for me, because it was like I said, oftentimes we just treat people how we would want to be treated, or we just do kind of what we think, and sometimes we will bash certain things that a person, you know, like or don't like or whatever. Like I just did earlier, like, you need words of affirmation for what? You know you did a good job, but it's like, if that's what they need, that's what they need. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't fight the process, because I feel like I've had a lot of it has been more negative feedback than positive pertaining to relationships, because it's like I'm constantly always fighting against these ideas and challenging everything. I won't even say necessarily fighting, but just challenging everything. Like, why you need that? Why do you need this? Why should I say that? Why should I do this? Why? And it's like, sometimes it's like, there's always a why. I don't care what nobody say. There's always a why. But sometimes just understanding, like, you know what? This is what the person needs, and let it go. And once I fully grasp that idea and that concept, I feel that I will be a lot more mentally freer in my relationship. This is another thing that I'll be honest, I have struggled with. They made it very, very clear. Tone matters. You know, attitude and tone. How you say things. I know we done heard it 1,000,001 times. It's not always what you say, it's how you say it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that, but it's the truth. Sometimes our tone can suggest things that our mouth isn't saying. You get what I mean? And all about the way you go about the topic. like we're talking about marriage here and relationships. So it's like, okay, you don't, sometimes it's good to check yourself, and you don't always have to come rah rah, or even if you don't come rah rah, you can be a very quiet person, but you say smart things like, oh wow, you're so on time, you know, like in a passive aggressive kind of sort of way. Like you don't always have to be buck wild to be rude or dismissive or hurtful to people. So it's like, you know, just really watching your tone. I think that's something that I have to work on pretty much dang near from scratch, because I be struggling a little bit, you know, because I be like, I don't got time for that, because I associate that with like kind of sugarcoating stuff. And it's like, no, you don't have to sugarcoat, but you also can be respectful at the same time. This is my biggest one yet, okay? Kill unspoken expectations. Now, I am notorious for this, okay? I have expectations of people that, well, first, let me tell you what they said. Basically, unspoken expectations is exactly what it sounds like. You did not tell the person your expectations, but you expect them to fulfill them even though you never said anything. Now, when you say it like that on the surface, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds crazy. Like, why wouldn't you just tell them? But guess what? We do it all the time. And they even used an example. They were, they was riding the car one time, and it was very, very, very hot. They were talking about, oh, we about to go to the Quick Trip, which is a gas station in Oklahoma. We're gonna go to Quick Trip. We're gonna get some drinks. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna cool down, blah, blah, blah. So as the guy is pumping the gas, his girlfriend at the time goes in the store, and she like, oh, I'm about to get something to drink. So he automatically assumed, because they talked, that she was gonna get him a drink as well. She did not. She came out with her own drink and with a donut. He got mad and upset and snatched the donut out her hand and threw it out the window, and that pretty much ruined their date night and the next 2 days. So that's what they said. Now, like I was saying, I am notorious for that, okay? I have done that so many times, and people have done that to me so many times, where, like I said, I expect, like, okay, I just said, you know, I'm hungry, or I just said I'm thirsty, or I just said I could go for a Snickers bar, and you went in the store and did not come out with a Snickers bar. Why? That is wrong. When people have done that to me, oh, why didn't you invite me? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? That is wrong. We all have to take responsibility and accountability for our actions. If you want something, you have to speak up and say it. And that just is what it is. Time is up for this whole idea of, well, I just thought you would. I thought. You thought wrong. So, for example, if it's a friend, if I go get me some food, sometimes, like, a lot of the times I have felt bad because I didn't bring them anything back. Or if I've traveled all the way to a certain state and I didn't get to see everybody, it's like I feel bad because I didn't see everybody. But it's like, at the end of the day, so what? If they wanted to see you, they would have made an effort to see you. If you wanted some food, you need to step up and say, hey, I want some food. Like, I'm not internalizing people's things anymore, like people's issues. If you expected me to do something and you did not tell me your expectation and I did not agree, it is what it is. And I feel like when we adapt that sort of attitude, not necessarily it is what it is, but we adapt this attitude of making it our own personal responsibility to tell people our expectations, I feel like we will have a lot less issues, a lot less messed up communication. But it's like we just be expecting people to read our minds, and it's like it don't work like that. But y'all, that's it for this video. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys, and happy freaking new year. It's a new year, 2021. I'm looking forward to all of the new found behaviors, the changed attitudes, the changed mentalities, and all of the great blessings that are going to come, and the hopefully not so hurtful lessons as well. So please stay tuned for my next video. I love you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one. Love y'all.